tonight's headlines. Fans leave Hong Kong Stadium on sour note after both Lionel Messi and Suarez sit out exhibition match. Lunar New Year fairs underway as stores selling novelty items and souvenirs make a comeback. And the United States and Britain launch another round of retaliatory strikes, hitting dozens of Houthi targets in Yemen.
If there was one common wish for Hong Kongers today, it was Lionel Messi appearing on the pitch alongside his Inter Miami teammates in a much-anticipated exhibition match. But fans who paid top dollar for a seat inside Hong Kong Stadium were left angry and disappointed when the referee blew the final whistle, with Messi still in his hoodie and joggers. While fans were already told the Argentine was injured, the snub still left Chief Executive John Lee and other top officials in attendance red-faced. Regardless, the MLS club beat Hong Kong 4-1 in the first stop of their Asian tour. While many streamed out of the venue before the game ended, even more stayed behind to vent their frustration with loud boos. Even the usually popular David Beckham was not spared from the jeers. In a bid to console the crowd, the co-owner of the club took a lap around the stadium to greet fans up close. One lucky supporter who evaded layers of security even got to meet the former England star up close, have his jersey signed and take a selfie. Inter will next head to Japan for another exhibition match before returning home.
For many Hong Kongers, there's no better way to ring in Lunar New Year than to visit one of the festive markets. Crowds flocked to one of 15 outdoor fairs across the city, which opened their doors to the public today. For the first time in 5 years, stalls selling dry goods have made a comeback after 4 previous editions were scaled down due to social unrest and COVID. At the flagship market in Victoria Park, excited youngsters who have just finished setting up their stall were ready for the week-long fun. Selling cute dragon and flower balloons, the students were aiming to at least break even in their first attempt at doing business. The tills were ringing at another stall run by an ink painting studio, is selling festive scrolls and other award-winning artwork drawn by students. Parents also seized the opportunity by bringing their kids to soak up the festive atmosphere. Apart from novel items, street delicacies were also returned to the fair. But with the observatory forecasting a wet week ahead, this florist was worried the weather would affect the turnout. Her peach blossoms have bloomed well due to recent warm weather, and many sellers were ready to offer discounts. Approximately 1,500 stalls will operate in the coming week, running until 7 a.m. on Saturday, the first day of the Lunar New Year. Like in previous years, authorities have put in place measures to inform the public about possible crowds before they make their way to the venue. Fairgoers can find out about the latest situation online or through a signaling system at the gate. Janice Yu, Cable News. Respiratory disease expert David Hui has warned of a possible rebound in flu infections when temperatures are expected to plunge before Lunar New Year. Speaking on a radio program, the Chinese university professor pointed out that the flu virus was more active in cold conditions. Citizens should not let their guard down, he said, just because the weather has been mild in the past week. He again emphasized the importance of getting a flu vaccine. Of 27 adults who were hospitalized last week for severe flu symptoms, only 8 have been inoculated against the disease. 20 of those patients later developed complications and died. On the other hand, COVID infections seem to remain steady in Hong Kong, with most cases caused by the JN1 variant. The dominant strain is highly transmissive, but not particularly deadly, Hui explained. In In a bid to avoid another fiasco which derailed its waste charging scheme, the Environment Bureau has been busy debunking rumors regarding an upcoming ban of single-use plastics. Posting on Facebook, the Bureau clarified that cotton buds will not be taken off shelves after April 22nd, as long as the stems are not made of plastic. The ban also does not target plastic products where paper or bamboo alternatives are not readily available, such as floss sticks and interdental brushes. The Bureau pledged to help relevant industries adapt to the ban, which will come with a 6-month grace period.
One day after the United States launched retaliatory strikes against Iranian-backed groups in Iraq and Syria, it was the turn of its allies. Britain scrambled its fighter jets in the third round of joint strikes with Washington. Together with support from Australia, Bahrain and Canada, the Allied forces have hit dozens of locations in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. The US military added another 6 anti-ship cruise missiles were destroyed on the ground before they were launched. It insisted the strikes were conducted in self-defense and to protect vessels in the region. Houthi spokesman Yahya Saraya put the number of strikes at 48, slightly higher than the US count. But the armed group which controls most of Yemen vowed to carry on with their offensive until Israel ceases its bombardment of the Gaza Strip. Middle East experts also questioned the motive of the US strikes.
The United States carried out this attack for internal consumption. The Biden administration wants to look strong. Things are not going well for the United States, both at home and abroad. And so he carried out these strikes, but it had no real impact on the ground.
The United Nations Security Council is expected to hold an emergency meeting tomorrow to discuss the simmering tensions in the region. The meeting came at the request of Russia, a permanent member of the Council and a close ally of Iran. Raymond Cable News. This is what a normal day looks like in Lahore. According to data compiled by the World Health Organization, the sprawling city in Pakistan's northeast Punjab province holds the unenviable status as the world's most polluted city. Its annual mean PM 2.5 levels, a gauge of particulate matter in the air, reached 183 micrograms per cubic meter. That's 36 times the limit set by the WHO. Continued exposure to polluted air increases the risk of health problems like asthma or even heart disease.
Because of the smoke and because of the weather conditions, people who already have a pre-existing lung condition, they tend to get sicker. They present to our emergencies, they present to our ICUs. There is a great exponential increase in the number of patients who present in a sicker condition in the last couple of years. I would say from last year it's 100% increase in number of sick patients who come with a respiratory condition.
Authorities blame the persistent smog to road traffic, saying it makes up 43% of air pollution in Lahore. Efforts are underway to phase out old vehicles, while public transport operators will gradually convert to electric buses and tuk-tuks. For now, locals are not taking their chances. More and more people cover up their faces on the streets, while parents put on masks for their children. But experts say Lahore is far from being alone when it comes to air pollution. India and Bangladesh are also consistently ranked as the most polluted regions in the world, and fraught diplomatic relations between the neighbors are hampering cross-border cooperation to address the issue. Raymond Cable News.